So the financial year is about to end. And if you are someone like me who woke up at the last moment and is wondering where he or she can invest to save on taxes, well, you are at the right place. In this video, I'll be sharing with you the financial instruments, more specifically the funds that I have currently invested in and would advise you to invest to save on taxes but to make more money on that as well. So in this video, I'll be sharing with you the ELSS funds that you can invest in to not only save taxes but to grow your money in the long run. So in today's video, I'll be sharing with you 6 main points. Number first, we'll be discussing about the section 80C under which you can invest and save money on taxes. Second, I'll be discussing about different kind of financial instruments like Ulips, PPF and ELSS. Third, I'll be discussing why ELSS are better as compared to these two types of financial instruments, and I'll be sharing with you my personal picks and the funds that I've invested for last few years. And fifth, I'll be sharing with you the big mistakes that I made initially. So this was the mistake that I had made, which could have costed a lot of money in the long run, which I want you to not to make that mistakes. And in the end, I'll be sharing with you other growth ELSS funds other than the funds that I am invested in, so that you can analyze those and based on your preferences, you can invest in those funds. So let's get started. First, let's understand what's in the section 80C. So it says that under section 80C, you can claim deduction of maximum 1.5 lakhs every year from your total taxable income. So these are the financial instruments in which you can invest. So in this, I'll be discussing mainly ELSS, PPF and Ulips. So in ELSS, you can get an interest of 12 to 15%. We'll be discussing all these things in details. Here PPF, you can have the lock-in period and the interest that you can get, and Ulips. So first, let's understand Ulips. So in this, you can basically get an interest of 8% to 10%. So first, let's understand Ulips. So before getting into the details, first understand what the definition of Ulip is. So if you look at the definition itself, it is a product offered by the insurance companies, which is pure insurance policy, and it gives investors both insurance and investment under a single integrated plan. But the main disadvantage of Ulips is, so under Ulips, investment and insurance both are covered, but it makes a lot of confusion because insurance itself is a vast topic and integrating investment with that makes it a little bit difficult to understand and makes it more and more complicated. So I've been going through this particular article where the Ulip charges are mentioned. So if you are considering investing in Ulips and the annual premium is somewhat around 50,000. So here it is given all kind of charges that you will be giving when you are invested in Ulips. So here you can consider all the charges that you will be paying for the time period that you are invested in, and it comes out to be 4.668 lakhs. So you will be investing 5L minus 4.68L. These will be the actual investment, and this will be the charges of this particular investment, which comes out to be around 6.5%. So this is a very high charges as compared to other mutual funds, because if you pick up any mutual fund, the most charges that you can encounter while investing in mutual funds is around 3 to 4%. But 6.5% commissions are very much high compared to other kind of investment schemes. Second, the interest that you can gain on the Ulips is not that great. So if we compare the three types of investment plans, which are endowment plans, Ulips, and the term plan, which like equity mutual funds. So here we can see the CAGR, or the compounded annual growth rate, is not as high as compared to the equity mutual funds that we are going to explore next. So this is all about Ulips, and I want you to go through Google and search why Ulips are not good, and you'll get hundreds of articles talking about the disadvantages of Ulips and why you should not invest. The second most famous financial instrument that mainly people invest in is PPF. So PPF is a government scheme in which you can invest money, and these are the key information about a PPF account. So here you can get a 7.1% interest rate, and this is a government backed interest rate. This means this interest is guaranteed on your investment, but this is very low as compared to 12 to 15% interest that you can get on mutual funds. And the other downside of this PPF account is that the lock-in period for this is 15 years, which is huge, while in ELSS the lock-in period is only 3 years. And one of the main reasons that the 7.1% interest is guaranteed is because this money is going to be invested by the government into debt. Because of this, most of the returns is risk-free returns. Okay, so we have covered the section ATC. We have covered different types of financial instruments like Ulips, PPF, ELSS, and we have discussed why ELSS is better than the other two financial instruments. And this is because of first, better returns and less lock-in period. Now I'll be discussing with you the ELSS funds that I'm personally invested in. The first fund that I'm going to share with you is the Axis ELSS Tax Saver Fund. So I've picked this particular fund because if we compare the returns, the annualized returns compared to the Nifty 500, so from 2010 to 2024, this particular index, which is in blue, has completely outperformed the market for many years. So if we have a look at the portfolio of this particular mutual fund, we can see the mutual fund have invested in a number of stocks, which is around 42, which is less as compared to the other stocks. But it is more of a aggressive kind of portfolio with mid cap and small cap making up to 30% of the portfolio. And the other ELSS fund that I've invested is the Bandhan ELSS Tax Saver Fund. One thing to note is that make sure while investing in the ELSS funds, you invest in the direct plan, because you can save money on the expense ratio because the commissions will be a bit lower. So this is the second fund that I have used. This is also I've used because of three main reasons. Number one is the expense ratio. The expense ratio of this particular fund is less compared to other mutual funds. Here you can see the average is around 0.93%, but the expense ratio is significantly lower. Second, the mutual fund has beaten the market in a long run as well, like in the Axis mutual fund, but it has not beaten the market as aggressively as the Axis fund. But this is more kind of conservative mutual fund. So if we have a look at the portfolio of this mutual fund, we can see that around 75% of the portfolio is in either giant or the large cap companies. So this is a little bit conservative as compared to the Axis mutual funds. And these are the two funds that I have currently invested in. And I've been investing in these funds for last 2-3 years, and I've made a return around 18% for last couple of years. Okay, so in this, I'll be sharing with you the mistake that I made initially while picking up this. Pay attention to this. Bandhan ELSS Tax Saver Fund, Direct and Growth. So basically there are two type of direct plans. One is growth and second is IDCW. So IDCW stands for income distribution cum withdrawal. So this means that let's say you are investing in both, let's say growth and IDCW. Now let's say you made X amount of profit in the growth plan. What will happen that the profit that you had made, will go into the mutual fund itself after the period, while in the IDCW plan the profit that you had made will come out to the investor in form of dividend. So in the long run this is very harmful, because like if you don't need that money, this is going to be real harmful when compounding, because in the long run if we see these profits that are reinvested into the plan can give tremendous amount of results due to the compounding effect. So this is the mistake that I made, and so just make sure that you don't make that mistake and invest in the growth plan rather than going through the IDCW and missing out on those gains in the long run. And finally, I'll be sharing with you the other ELSS funds. So I've been going through the Akshat Srivastava's one of the videos in which he has been discussing about the mutual funds that he found the best for growth. In this, he had talked about more than 250 around mutual funds, and you can explore more this on his channel. But these are the 12 ELSS funds that I found from his Excel sheet, and these are the funds that you can yourself go through, analyze these mutual funds and invest. Bandhan Tax ELSS fund is there, which he also thinks is good. So return is above average, but risk is high according to him. So the key takeaways from here is you should be investing in the ELSS funds, which is both good in tax benefits and growth in the long term. And second, these are some of my mutual funds picks and other mutual fund that you can analyze yourself and come up to a wise decision.